It's a wonderful.
Drum roll, please.
All right.
Okay, we're over $95,768. Yay! And some of the people that donated are Mr. Doug Thomas, Mr. and Mrs. Dennis Himmel, Miss Carol Bergman, Frederic Corallo, Ollie Craven, Alice Cook, Phil Nichols, Peter Hennings, Hal Steiner, and Lil Alvinus.
Good.
And Christine Bruce. And from all over, Crystal River, Inverness, Dunellen, Floral City, Hawthorne.
But
Hawthorne?
don't you think it's easier to say 100,000?
Hawthorne is up near Gainesville in Letcher County, but except for the person from Hawthorne I hope to be able to medt someday, I know all those people. You know that?
Wow.
That's not great. That tells you how old I am.
You must have gotten around a bit.
Yeah, well, when I came to Citrus County, there were 19,000 people here.
Wow.
Okay? There was, Sheriff was B.R. Quinn. He had one deputy, Herb Williams, in Crystal River. There was no building department. There was no county government. And basically, it was catch as catch can. It was like the Wild West. Yeah,
I was going to say, free.
It was great.
Do anything you want to do.
Wonderful. And a lot of the old timers, there's not many left, but we get together from time to time.
Young timers.
And I'm just a youngster.
Yeah, of course. But we have newcomers here. And you know what? I was telling him, I said, you will tell them how the key started. I mean,
We wanna know.
Yes.
Okay, great.
How did this all start?
Here it is. People by the name of Harry and Elsie Van Norwick. Harry was about 6'7", 310 pounds, an ex-Detroit policeman, moved down here with their daughter Marilyn in 1964. They started the Citrus County Association for Retarded Children. Harry was the moving force, big, huge man, got involved with some of the people in the school system. He lived in a house across from the landfill on State Road 44. Mrs. Skylar Orvis, better known as Ruby, donated the original 40 acres to the Key Training Center. And
Prime
property. Mr. Bob Neale, matter of fact, there used to be a still on the property. But Mr. Bob Neale was the first executive director. Bob stayed about a year, and then Garnet Miller, who was the wife, God bless her, she passed away this last year, one of my heroes, of Sam Miller, the first physician in Crystal River, was the acting director. Then they started recruiting for somebody for the Key Center. The original building, which is called the Ruby Orvis Building, was dedicated by Floyd Christian, the superintendent of education for the state of Florida in 1967. Okay? And Garnet started looking around. She ran it for about 2 years, and I came to interview the first time in 1970. I was over on the Lower East Coast working for the State Division of Retardation. I have a mentally handicapped sister, so I've kind of grown up in it. And my mom was an advocate, and I grew up in a time when there was absolutely nothing for these people. The only answer was the doctor said, give them to an institution because they're going to ruin your family if you keep them, okay? And my mom fought.
You hear that all the time.
All the time. Fought that battle all her life. So I came over here. My first day on the job was June 14th, 1971. And I've never been in a more remarkable community. And the only way I know how to say is to say it this way. God has worked miracles here.
Absolutely.
I have seen those miracles, and that's what makes me most proud, is that I've never seen a community reach out to these people in such a way, in a loving and tender way, and embrace them as fellow human beings. Yes, they have differences, and yes, they have special needs, but at the same time, they're just like you and I.
But then they develop even better and more.
We've got over 20 group homes, 4 apartment complexes. We've got 10 consumers that own their own home, drive their own cars, work in the community.
Gives them the freedom.
This is really a prototypical place in the United States, in the Southeast. And the reason is because that the citizens of Citrus County basically are stockholders, okay, of this place, in terms of they understand how important it is that we embrace these people fully, that they have the opportunity to be full citizen partners, and that when you have a relationship with one of these individuals, you find out what really is important in life, okay? And you get a unique perspective. So many volunteers and so many of our staff. This is how we got Neale in 1985 when she came and her husband was the county administrator, is that you fall in love with this place, okay? Because of these people. It's not the building, the bricks, and the mortar. And I think we get more done on the penny than any place in the United States.
It has the most positive feeling of any place we've ever.
And that was here when I came here. Mrs. Miller believed that if you literally allow God's love to prosper, we all will be blessed and prospered. And that's what drew me here. And that's been here all these years, hasn't it, Neale?
And Chet has never let us lose sight of that. You really haven't. And you see economic problems, and you see state problems, and and every decision has the same goal. And you
To take
never-
care of the
yes,
people.
And it is
And work with
always
the
there.
people.
Well, and I try to teach my kids, when a window closes and then a door opens,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the definitely,
Well,
The
you
key
know,
just keeps it open.
yeah, exactly.
Well, the money seems to go to help the clients.
The money
and
stays
to
right here.
Direct,
Yeah.
take care of the people, lead them the right way as
That's
opposed
why
to
we need
going
your
elsewhere.
donations.
it stays
Exactly
right,
the point.
stays right here. And Run for the Money is our time of the year that I think for our community transcends politics, transcends ethnicity and race and religion, and focuses on who we are as human beings, okay? And we've always believed, and we said this at our auction Friday night when we talked about our beautiful Ashley, who is going to turn 23 in 4 days, and that is that if we do not do all that we possibly can do for these people, then we all, to some extent, are dehumanized. Our humanity is compromised, okay? Because I was on my deathbed 5 years ago in July, and I missed this event. I got to the auction, but missed the telethon for the first time and was fighting for my life. And I was in the hospital for 37 days, and finally I started understanding from the consumer or the patient side just how important a
difficult.
touch,
Absolutely.
a wipe of the brow, and the way that you approach, I'll just say it, the way you approach somebody on a bedpan either lets them, allow them to have their dignity, or you make it a dehumanizing kind of event. And that made me have even a more special appreciation that every day these people deserve our very, very best. And that's what's exciting, okay? We have all kinds of problems, okay? I mean, if I told you right now all the challenges you're facing, you'd say, well, gee, what are you going to do about it? Well, it ain't my problem. It's God's problem, okay?
And don't give up.
He's going to fix it. He's going to fix it, because if I thought I was in charge, I'd hand in my resignation, okay?
But I thought you're the direct
I
administrator.
am, but I would just go ahead and hand it in and say, Lord, get somebody else, but I trust him, and I think so does my staff, that if we work hard and we are mission-driven and have servant's heart, he will bless, and he does, okay? The most proudest thing of the last 2 years is this. When all of this economic nonsense is going on in our country and in our state, we have not cut services to anybody, okay? Most nonprofit organizations, their first knee-jerk response is to look at it from a business model and say, well, we've got to cut services. To me, that's the last thing you do. If there's somebody there
That's the
that needs
objective.
our services,
Yeah,
we're going to
that's the
bring them
objective.
in, and we'll find a way to make it work, okay? That is very unique in this time and place. And I believe that that's very fundamental. I don't think we should be patted on the back for that. If every community was in a place like Citrus County, we wouldn't have 20,000 people on the waiting list in the state of Florida. And every place, like you told me coming from Arizona, that they don't have the services,
They don't.
Arizona will
Never
be in
seen.
good shape, okay?
Right.
Because this is a community problem. It's not a federal problem, and it's not a state problem.
And all it takes is if you decide not to go to dinner one night and not to buy one drink that's $7, send that $7 in here, because if everyone did that, you'd be funded for the rest of
for
the year.
every grandparent out there that's got a healthy child, send in $10. Here's an example. If we get to $200,000 a day, we've raised over $4 million. When we get to $200,000, we'll have raised over $4 million since 1976. That averages out to $118,000 per Run for the Money year. The first year we raised $6,000. That's 12,419 days. That's $365 a day. Now, $365 a day from this community for the next 5 years will raise $6 million.
But that sounds like a lot of money.
But it's
to a
not
lot
when
of
you-
people.
when you think
But
about
in
what it's
today's
doing.
dollars, it's very difficult.
not,
You're
it's
doing a
not.
great job with that.
But you can't give up.
No.
And make the phones ring, please.
not.
Yes.
Right.
Got to have the phones ring, Neale, or we can't make any money.
Right.
And that's why
right.
you got better to be here today to tell these people to help
You got
support
it.
the
That's
center.
what we want to hear.
Right.
Well, you know what? I encourage, Neale, you know this. We have regular
But
tours.
we don't know that.
We have regular tours, and I'm going to get this gentleman right here to be a tour guide, okay?
Sure.
Because he's good looking, he's charming,
What did I tell
he's a
you?
doctor, right?
And he's married. And he's married.
Yes,
Keep going.
and she's going to be his tour assistant, and we're going to take people on tours to let them see exactly what their dollar
And
does
you know,
here,
Chet,
Neale.
what we're going to see right now? We're going to see the Greek Orthodox Church sing
Yes.
Odyssey. And it's that beautiful dome,
She's
golden dome
well-trained.
church on 44th.
Well, we've been there many
she tell
times.
you
We
to
used to
say
have
all
our
that?
auction there. Yeah. Now, what is going on at the Greek Orthodox Church?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dennis knows that. Yes, okay. Well, see, Dennis doesn't tell us everything we need to know, Neale, all the
remember,
time. Yes, he tries to.
Five